needs no introduction, a dear friend, Sonam Kapoor, one of the finest actresses in India, a philanthropist, a fashion icon, and also a very good reader. She has good taste in books.
Oh.
Sonam Kapoor, please come up.
In complimenting me, he's complimented himself. So should we say?
Please. We have a short period of time out here, and I have 5 questions
Okay.
for you, Sonam. These aren't rapid fire,
Okay.
and they're not controversial.
Okay. I usually do well with those.
The first thing that strikes me is, how was your journey as an actor in Bollywood been like since you started your career? And in your observation, what are some of the aspects in the industry that have culturally evolved with recent times? There have been changes across the world. How has this impacted Bollywood? There have been changes in India. So what are the changes you're seeing and how Bollywood is working?
So, I mean, I've been working for 20 years, believe it or not. So I was 17 when I joined the film industry as an assistant director with Sanjay Leela Bansali on Black. And my first film released when I was 21, and I'm not shy about my age. I'm 38 now. So it's been a long time.
You don't look a day older than 22.
Oh, thank you. It's very kind and charming. And I feel there have been changes, slowly but surely, where there has been more roles for me, where there weren't as many female-oriented centric roles. I had the opportunity to make Khoobsurat, Neerja, Veeridi Wedding, Aisha, and they've all been pretty successful. And that's also because the audience has changed. You know, you usually make films for the audience, and the film industry has been open about it. But it hasn't been quick enough. The gender pay gap is humongous, and I don't think that will be narrowing very soon, unfortunately. But the roles have become meatier for sure, you know, with Alia and Deepika and Anushka, all strong actors, at least in my generation of actors, have had the opportunity to make, or they pursued films where they could be the central character. And obviously directors like Sanjay Leela Bansali, Rakesh Mehra, and Sujoy Ghosh and Shashank Ghosh, who've been my directors, have all kind of promoted that. So I guess it's that has changed, and obviously with OTT with like Netflix coming in, Amazon, now Jio Cinemas, content has also evolved in a way where it's not traditional Indian films anymore, where there's a 3-hour film with an interval and then it's a traditional love story. I think the content has become more varied. It has more depth. And it's gone the other way as well. Like in the cinemas, you're watching things that don't really make sense. I mean, they're a lot of fun, and commercially they do very, very well. But so there's you know how there's the gap between the rich and the poor has increased, and so is the gap between content increased. So there's like super hyper commercial stuff, and then there's not very commercial stuff, and in between there's that has also gone a little bit because of the way people are consuming content.
But as you've shown with Neerja, that you can do something meaningful and it can work.
That was before the pandemic.
Fair. As a critically acclaimed actress, what role do you think the Indian film industry can play in fostering stronger cultural bonds between the UK and India, and indeed with the rest of the world?
So what is great is that the UK makes it easier for films to be shot here. So a lot of films are being shot here. And I feel like if there's more films being shot here and more, you know, we're already using technicians from here, but actors can also work from the UK in India. So the thing is, our Indian audience is so vast, Indian film who watch Indian films is so vast, right? So it's not only Indians that watch it; it's all South Asians watch Indian films. Middle Easterns watch Indian films. Africans watch Indian films. So we already have such a huge audience, and I feel it's not recognized as much like in the press and in the media. So if it's covered a lot more and they understand the importance, like even when you're getting in now, international brands are taking Indian actors as brand ambassadors, and they are showcasing them as more because they realize the power of the Indian celebrity, to understand how far-reaching how far-reaching we can have people, we can sell things to people basically. And so it's interesting to see that now, since the world is getting smaller because of social media and OTT, etc., the recognition is coming easier, but I feel like the international media can do more. I think the governments do whatever they can do.
No, there's the power of the Indian diaspora as well.
Exactly.
Massive.
Huge. That's what I meant. Yeah.
You did refer to it, a bit in your first question, but if I can probe a little deeper, as a woman in Bollywood, and there are some from the film industry out here.
Okay.
What is the advice you'd give to young actresses who'd like to join the film industry? What are the challenges you think you would have to face?
Just work. You have to work very hard, and it's all luck. I promise you, you have to be.
Get lucky.
You have to. It's all luck. I promise you, it's all kismat. Where you are, who you're born to. That's a huge privilege. But also where you are, because my father wasn't born to my grandfather was a secretary, right? But he was in the right place at the right time, and he did a film with Mani Ratnam, who was his first filmmaker, his first film, and he became one of the biggest filmmakers, right? So it's all kismat, I feel. But if you're really passionate about it, like for me, even though I am my father's daughter, I went on my own to Sanjay, who had never worked with my father before, and my father and my mother had kept me completely not exposed to the audience, so nobody knew who I was, what I looked like, any of that. And I just one day walked in because I heard because I lived in Bombay, from some of my friends who were assistants at that time, saying that he needs an assistant. So I walked into his office, and at the same time girls were walking in to audition for a role, and he thought I was one of those girls, not knowing who I was. And I walked in and he decided to cast me. So I think there's always a, and I was an assistant first for 2 years before I started acting in his film, but I think it's all about destiny. But if you keep working hard, if you're talented, see, hard work, timing is everything, but timing with hard work is what is the... So if you keep working hard and keep working on your craft, if you just and if you don't give up, the time will come. Some time will come. It'll somehow happen, like Amitabh Bachchan only became successful after his mid-30s. He kept trying and trying and trying and trying, and then eventually something clicked. He was always a second lead. It was Rajesh Khanna, and I think like Meena Gupta, my friend Masaba's mother, she's had a fresh start now and she's working non-stop. So that always happens. It's just you have to work, and if you have the conviction, you can keep doing it. Shah Rukh Khan, he did like some, I don't know how many TV shows, and came from Delhi, and it's a matter of timing.
You have spoken of diversity, of gender equality.
Yeah.
And in fact, actually, this is a conversation there are some even from international production houses out here. It's a conversation that's taking place quite strongly in the West as well. Where do you see it going? What movement do you think has been made till now?
I think it's become like a token. It's become like a token thing where everybody's like, oh, we have a diverse cast, but who is your lead? You know, and I know I've been represented internationally for a while, and you're always cast as the exotic Indian girl in a film. And I don't think that has changed much. There are strides being made, but there are no, I feel there are very few, like Mindy Kaling is doing some things. There's a show, 2 shows, but that's 1 in a million that's being made. But there could be more stuff that could be done. So diversity is a token word that needs to be explored more and taken more seriously, because brown people are the most populous of the world at this moment.
Make a good point. There is a rise in international collaborations.
Yes.
With Indian films. What's your perception of this? And what do you think of Indian talent on a global scale?
So the rise is there, a little late, but it's there. And Indian talent is doing well. Priyanka is working. Rajmouli's song that got appreciated.
In fact, Priyanka's Citadel was...
It did well, yeah, it did well. So there are a lot of things that are happening. We're getting the international platform. It's also, you have to go and settle somewhere. You have to go settle in LA, or you have to go settle in London or wherever if you want that exposure. But what is interesting is because of OTT platforms, people world over are watching our content. And that's quite amazing. And if people could promote that more, they'd understand that it is not only a Rajmouli film that's wonderful. There are small, beautiful films made in Kerala that are outstanding. There are small films that are being made in even Bollywood that are outstanding. In the regional cinema is excellent. Not only the Indian film cinema, that's like Hindi language film cinema is also amazing, but the regional films are also excellent, and that needs more exposure. I mean, we talk about French films, we talk about Italian films, we talk about even Iranian films that are getting such amazing, like they're getting applauded, but we have to look at even our different language, because in India we have so many languages, right? Yeah.
And my last question,
Yes.
if I may ask a personal one. She is one of the most dedicated mothers I have seen, truly is. But we're all waiting for your comeback post your
Oh my
mother.
gosh.
I've heard of 2 projects. So do you want to speak a bit on that, and what kind of projects do you want to be a part of?
I took 2 years off. I was pregnant, and then I wanted to take some time off with my son. And so 2 years are not done yet, but I've signed on 2 films, 2 projects, not films, 1 show and 1 film. And that I will start working on that, so it will release in another year, because that's how films work.
Is there an exclusive to IGF now?
Well, since you know, as a friend, I can talk about it now. And then my idea is to do 2 films, two pieces of content every year. That's it, not more, because I want to spend time with my family as well.
To all the descriptions that I gave before on Sonam Kapoor, let's add one, the most important one, a wonderful mother.
Oh, thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen,